Off the bench last season, Gary Trent Jr. only averaged 5 points per game. However, after getting acquired from the Portland Trail Blazers in the Norman Powell deal, Trent did average 16.2 points per game on 39.5% shooting and then 36% shooting from deep. Before he got injured with the Toronto Raptors, he was averaging 18.5 points per game on 46% shooting. So if you didn't know, the Raptors signed him to a 3-year, $51 million contract. It does have a player option in the last year. So the worry and the concern is that if Gary Trent Jr. kind of truly comes into his shoes, takes that leap into kind of a star-like player, he could just leave after 3 years to go pursue a bigger contract. And then you have it on the flip side. If he doesn't live up to the expectations, if he doesn't live up to his $18 million contract, $17 million contract, then he's probably just going to stay for that fourth year. And that's not what you want to have when you have all of these players who are about to get paid. Like Pascal Siakam just got paid. You got Fred VanVleet, OG, that's kind of your core. They're all scheduled to earn at least 8 figures in 2023. So just financial flexibility-wise, it isn't ideal. But I think Gary Trent Jr. is not going to not live up to his expectations. He scored 42 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers last season. He had that buzzer beater against the Wizards, the plus 54 night against the Warriors. Gary Trent Jr. is not shy to take the shot, and with more work, really took a leap this past season, not only in Portland, but in Toronto. Right after the bubble, right in the bubble, that was when Gary Trent Jr. kind of put himself on the map. He wasn't putting up great numbers like 9 points per game, 10 points per game, and then once the bubble hit, you could tell he was putting in a lot of work because he came out, put up like 15 points per game, at least in the bubble, was the Trailblazers' best defender. And then the Raptors go out and make a great move for him. It's kind of a flip for Norman Powell, who I believe Norman Powell is about 28 years old. So you're getting younger. Gary Trent Jr., when his contract's up in Toronto, will either be 24 or 25. As long as he's starting, to me, Gary Trent Jr. will be very beneficial for this team. Off the bench is not a role for Gary, especially on this team. The Raptors need more shooters in their starting lineup. Gary Trent Jr. took at least 7 threes last season for the Raptors. So, like I said, he is not shy to take that shot. And I think he's really about to just kind of mold into his own shoes here. He's getting that confidence. He had that 44-point night game, which was just insane. He's super young, too. He's my age. He's 22 years old. So one more season with the Toronto Raptors, I bet you. I don't know if he'll turn into a star this upcoming season. I made a Gary Trent video a couple of days ago, and a lot of you guys think he's about to turn into a star, put up like 20 points per game this season. I don't know if he'll take that quite of a leap. I think he'll put up 17, 18 a night on a little bit more efficient shooting, starts to do a little bit more, maybe put up some stats in the rebounding category, put up some stats in the assist category. But I do think he will clear 16.3, which is what he averaged. I think he will average around 18, close to what he was putting up before he got injured with the Raptors. So I don't think he'll turn into a star this year. I don't think he'll get in an all-star appearance or anything like that. If I had to bet on a Raptors player taking a huge leap, all my money would go to OG. He has been putting in work this summer. He's working on those handles too. He's already one of the best defenders in the entire NBA. Pascal Siakam is going to be out for a couple of weeks at that 4 spot at the start of the season. So I think guys like OG, Gary Trent Jr., I definitely could see Gary Trent Jr. averaging close to 20 points per game during that stretch. Then I could definitely see OG just averaging 20 plus for the entirety of the season. So this kind of goes back to the league is not ready for the Toronto Raptors and what they have in store. They have all this young talent. They're going out there making good moves. Goran Dragic's probably about to get traded here in the next couple of weeks. Highly doubt he starts the season with the Toronto Raptors. He's made it abundantly clear he does not want to be there. It was very disrespectful. No Raptor fan wants Goran Dragic there. You've got a good match in Moses Brown. probably be the end of Freddie Gillespie there, but you've got a good match. Moses Brown for Goran Dragic. It fits both teams. The Mavericks are looking for another ball handler, looking for some extra help for Luka Doncic. Then you got the Raptors here trying to get younger, trying to get more athletic, trying to get long. And Moses Brown is exactly that. He is a very talented player, a very talented big man. I just think he needs a little bit more of an opportunity. I don't know how many minutes he would get here. I'm sure that Nick Nurse would figure out a rotation to put him into the mix, but I don't think he would be playing more than 20 minutes a night on any given night because you got Precious Achiuwa there at that backup center role, and he is looking really good. He might even be the starting center for the Raptors for the next couple of years. But that's it for today. Gary Trent Jr., I think he's going to put up about 18 points per game next season. Go ahead and drop your prediction on his stats down below in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the sub button. Peace.